What is up, everybody? Hope everyone's having an awesome day, and thank you so much for tuning in right here on the Solarte Motorsports channel. My name's Christian, this is my shitty 350Z, and this is the engine that we got out of the shitty 350Z. So, pretty much the plan is, now that we got this out, we've got another engine, a VQ35, sitting just off frame that we're going to be putting in on this. We just have a couple of things that I got to finish on that one. Main one being the timing, but the one that we're going to tackle today is one that I've been putting off for a really long time. So if you saw a couple videos back, I did a whole video on polishing the combustion chambers and porting the heads at the same time that I did the valve seals on the VQ35 heads. So with the heads are already ported, I actually need to now port match the manifold itself so that it's not essentially just wasting the porting on the head. Because cut to a close-up shot, if you see that little curve or really jagged part right there, and now cut to other shot of the ported heads, now it's gone. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, matching the manifold itself to that. And I've also got the lower manifold plenum. I've already ported that one, so I'm just going to go over with you guys quickly about how I did it for any of you VQ35 owners that have the DEs and kind of want every edge on how to get maximum airflow without getting that second intake. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into it, guys. Let's talk manifolds. Alright guys, so to make sure that I'm clear with everyone, I actually whipped out the whole manifold family. So the common misconception is that people just kind of refer to this all as the manifold, when if we're being technical, the manifold is the part that funnels air directly into the heads. So that would be this one with the fuel run-on injectors into it. These two are actually referred to as manifold plenums, with the upper manifold plenum holding the throttle body and then connecting onto the lower manifold plenum that would bolt up to the manifold itself. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and get things kicked off with this upper manifold plenum. So this, actually, believe it or not, is the OEM manifold. I just managed to get it shining through a lot of patience and a lot of sandpaper. Honestly, it took me a really long time, and as far as the looks for the top, there is no performance. Honestly, I think that maybe the shine for it could probably attract heat a little bit easier, but it looks cool, so I guess the cool evens off the heat. So on the underside, we actually did do a little bit. So I don't know if you could see from the angle, hopefully I'll get a close up here. But on the inside, this is all rough, so just kind of went over it, smoothed it out. That's going to reduce the turbulence, going to help airflow a little bit smoother in here. And if you zoom in another close-up shot, we also have this little spacer. So this is actually a Motordyne 5/16 plenum spacer, and what that's going to do is it's going to give us just a little bit more space between our lower and upper manifold. And that's going to help us squeeze a little bit more air, and that's really useful to these DEs since they're kind of restricted. Next up, we've got the lower manifold plenum. So this one, you should know if you do get the manifold spacer 5/16, it does come with the longer bolts and the spacers to accommodate them that just fit right here in these holes. So you're not going to have any fitting problems if you decide to go with the spacer. As for the manifold itself, this one in particular is also the OEM one. As for modifications that this one had on it, the top where the air would be hitting on the top, some of the edges have been rounded out so to let the air kind of flow over more smoothly. And for the inner tunnels that lead to the actual port itself have been ported out. You can usually see a casting mark pretty clear around the edge. I just kind of sent it with a Sharpie and then went at it for a Dremel, and it came out pretty well. Now here's what we actually have to port. So now that we could differentiate between all the parts, the manifold itself on the top is what connects to the bottom of the lower manifold. So you can see when this gasket's on there, you just have these parts where the metal's just still showing, and you can kind of trim that off and give yourself a little bit more space for air. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the one gasket on this one, tape that down, get it real nice, exactly where we want it, Dremel out the edges around it, match it to this one, and then the real one is these are the ports that are already ported for the heads. Same thing, just put the gasket over it, and you could see these parts where there's just really sharp edges, where this really has no reason to be. Right here. So we're just going to be rounding those out, helping us get a little bit smoother flow, and then by the end, it should look like these, which are the ports for the actual engine. You see on the last ones we had really sharp jagged parts there. Now it's all rounded. So we do have our work cut out for us. Porting is a bitch. There's no other way to put it. You sit there, and if you actually watch my other video of porting, I bitch about it in that video too. But it's pretty much the cheapest way to get horsepower, to get time for horsepower. So it's worth it. I'm bored. I got nothing else to do. Alright, so now we can actually go and start. As you can see, I got the gasket taped very nicely around where it is. I don't want that to move. I also don't recommend you guys using your brand new gaskets when you do that, because these most likely will get a little bit scratch on the side. So I just came back from Home Depot because I ran out of the only ones that I had to start it off with, which are going to be these. So I use a 60 grit, 120. Here it is. I just finished the rough grit on all of them. You can see how the manifold, or where the injectors are, no more sharp edges right here. And if you look on the inside, some of the casting marks on the line right there have been roughed out. So this is pretty good. I'm happy with where it is on the 60. We're gonna get the angled one, the cone tip. And now we're just gonna really get part where the round, this kind, made it very difficult. So the tip's gonna I'm pretty sure, I'm happy with the ports that leads the head on all of them. So I went over them with the 120, super smooth on the inside now, no jagged edges. And that is gonna fit up nicely to my already ported heads. So you see pretty much the same thing, no jagged edges. So now whatever that, the extra part is, we're getting full airflow now. It's matched up to the gasket on both of these. So the next thing would be, and I might just end up doing this tomorrow because... Alright, so it's now actually like about 2 days later, and I actually take back what I said. I said I wasn't going to port the lower plenum to the manifold itself, and I'm actually going to go and do it now. So I actually went and got it taped really nicely. I mean, as nice as you can get. And yeah, there's actually about a millimeter or two on each one. So this is kept in place. You see how like it lines up really bolts. Really what we want to make sure of. So we're gonna go and get started on the lower manifold. Then we will do the, or lower plenum. Then we'll do the manifold itself. Cut the time lapse. Thought I had already filmed this, but I guess I just forgot to because I was editing it and I couldn't find the clip. So I'm going to go and show you guys what it's looked like after you're done with the 60 grit and the 120 grit. This is the finished product and how the manifold should look like. You see, everything's much lighter color than it was, and really smooth finish on it. You guys can't feel that, but it is unbelievably smooth. So I am extremely happy with that, and can't wait to actually put the engine together and have it sitting smack dab in the middle. So before I go, guys, one more thing. If you guys remember a while ago when I actually covered the Tuner Legacy Take Florida show held by Fast Events, their Fast Events is actually rebranded to Auto Faction now, and their next event is going to be at Florida Gulf Coast University. That's going to happen on January 20th. So guys, clear your calendar. I'll be there. You guys definitely should be there as well. Ferrari Club Naples is going to be there, and I'm pretty sure it's for charity. If you guys liked any of the content that you saw here, make sure you guys go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It makes a huge difference. I actually do notice it. Any questions that you guys might have related to what we saw today, go ahead and drop them in the comment section. And if you guys want to see more videos like this,
go ahead and subscribe. I'll go ahead and put my social media around here for my Instagram as well. I'm posting on that literally multiple times a day. So if you guys want to see updates like real time about what I'm doing, because I'm in the garage almost every day, Instagram is going to be your best bet, guys. Now I could say, keep sideways, keep drifting fun. Everyone stay safe out there.